From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan. Our top story for today: like most parts of the globe, Muslims across the US and Canada have welcomed the holy month of Ramadan, which began on Friday night. The first day of fasting starts on Saturday, marking a month of spiritual reflection, prayer, and community. With diverse Muslim communities, Ramadan traditions in North America vary. Mosques and Islamic centers are hosting nightly Taraweeh prayers, daily iftar or fast-breaking meals, and charitable initiatives. Families and friends are gathering for iftar at home, while some mosques are holding open houses and interfaith iftar events. During Ramadan, Muslims fast from dawn to sunset, abstaining from food and drink. The fast is broken each evening with the iftar meal, often starting with dates and water, followed by traditional dishes from different cultures. Some major retailers in the US have recognized the growing Muslim consumer base, offering Ramadan-themed decorations and special deals for the month. In Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau extended his wishes to the Muslim community, highlighting their contributions to the country. He also addressed the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, calling for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid access. As Ramadan continues until the end of March, Muslims in North America are embracing the values of faith, generosity, and community, making this sacred month a time of togetherness and giving. The holy month of Ramadan has begun in most parts of the globe. The crescent moon has been sighted in the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. However, in South Asia, the crescent was not visible, so Muslims there will begin fasting on Sunday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres sent a message of solidarity. He called for compassion, empathy, and peace, urging people to embrace their common humanity. He also expressed support for those suffering, including those in Gaza, Sudan, and beyond. Ramadan is a time for reflection, worship, and community. Muslims across the world will fast from dawn to sunset, seeking spiritual renewal and a deeper connection to Allah. Iraqis in the capital Baghdad flocked to the historic Al-Shuraja market on Thursday to shop in preparation for Ramadan. The market was bustling with shoppers ahead of the holy month, as it remains a traditional destination for locals. Many of the goods sold in the market are imported from countries such as Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates. Indian Muslims in the capital New Delhi flocked to the bazaar in the Jama Masjid area Thursday to prepare for the upcoming month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a time for fasting, worship, and spiritual renewal for Muslims. From dawn until sunset, Muslims refrain from food, drink, and worldly distractions with the aim of deepening their connection to Allah and purifying their hearts. Palestinian Muslims have completed their preparations to welcome the month of Ramadan by visiting markets and shops in the old city of occupied East Jerusalem. However, local shopkeepers reported lower footfall compared to previous years. This is after Israeli authorities imposed restrictions such as identity checks on Palestinians attempting to enter the old city. According to Gaza's government media office, nearly 1.5 million Palestinians have been left without home or shelter after Israelis' genocide. A ceasefire and prisoner exchange agreement has been in place in Gaza since January 19th. This has paused Israel's genocide that has killed over 60,000 people, mostly women and children, and left the enclave in ruins. As Syrians observe their first Ramadan after the fall of ex-President Bashar al-Assad in December, markets in the capital Damascus are bustling with shoppers eager to prepare for the holy month. Observers say this marks a significant shift in the country's atmosphere. Footage on Tuesday captures the lively atmosphere, with Syrians navigating the crowded stalls, selecting fresh produce, spices, and other traditional goods. The Bab Srayi Bazaar, one of the oldest and most popular markets in Damascus, saw a surge in shoppers eager to stock up on food and essentials for the upcoming sacred month. Bashar al-Assad's Syria's leader for nearly 25 years fled to Russia after anti-regime groups took control of Damascus on December 8th. This ended the Ba'ath Party's regime, which had been in power since 1963. Trump asked Zelenskyy to leave the White House. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. A White House meeting on Friday between President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy rapidly devolved into chaos as Trump asked him to leave the White House. Vice President J.D. Vance also attended the meeting. The two American leaders took turns berating Zelenskyy with television cameras rolling and the global public looking on. "You have to be thankful," Trump told the Ukrainian president, who has repeatedly thanked the American public for the U.S. government's military assistance. "You don't have the cards," Trump continued, as Zelenskyy tried in vain to interject. "You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers." Zelenskyy is demanding security guarantees against a future Russian attack in any agreement to end the conflict, a demand that Trump has thus far rejected. The Oval Office meeting was meant to kick off talks regarding the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Zelenskyy left the White House on Friday without signing a minerals deal. Many European leaders, including those of France, Poland, and Norway, issued statements of support for Zelenskyy after his heated exchange with Trump. Billionaire Elon Musk is urging retired air traffic controllers to return to work, warning of a dire shortage threatening aviation safety. Posting on X, Musk claimed the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA's, communication system are near catastrophic failure. He said Starlink terminals will be deployed at no cost to taxpayers to restore connectivity. Musk's warning comes amid recent aviation disasters, including a mid-air collision near Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people in January. The crisis follows workforce cuts under the Trump administration, though officials claim air traffic controllers were not affected. A CBS News analysis found that less than 10% of airport control towers meet FAA staffing standards. To speed up hiring, the U.S. Transportation Department cut the FAA's recruitment process from 8 steps to 5, aiming to reduce hiring time to 4 months. Pay for trainees is also set to increase. USAID employees gathered outside the agency's headquarters in Washington, D.C. on Thursday to collect their personal belongings after the Trump administration shut it down. The agency's closure was carried out under Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Employees were given reportedly 15 minutes to vacate their offices. In response to the abrupt dismissals, a large crowd assembled in front of the USAID building to show support for affected employees. USAID was founded by President John F. Kennedy in 1961 and has played a key role in global aid. Its shutdown has disrupted international relief efforts and funding for NGOs as well as media organizations. Meanwhile, in New York, federal workers gathered outside the Jacob K. Javits Federal Building to show support for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Its future is also up in the air. Mexico has extradited 29 people accused of drug trafficking to the U.S. under pressure from the Trump administration. The move follows President Donald Trump's designation of Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations earlier this year. Trump has repeatedly threatened tariffs unless Mexico cracks down on drug smuggling, particularly of fentanyl. Mexico's Secretariat of Security and Civilian Protection confirmed the extraditions, calling them as part of a bilateral cooperation with the U.S. Among those who were extradited is Rafael Caro Quintero. He is a former Guadalajara cartel leader wanted in the 1985 murder of Drug Enforcement Administration agent Enrique Camarena. Quintero, known as the Narco of Narcos, spent 28 years in prison before his 2013 release, later rejoining the drug trade. He was again arrested in 2022. The handover marks a significant step in U.S.-Mexico efforts to tackle cartel violence and drug trafficking. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has ordered the removal of a Palestinian studies job listing at Hunter College. Academics are calling it an attack on academic freedom. The job post sought a scholar to study Palestine-related issues, including settler colonialism, human rights, and migration. But under pressure from pro-Israel groups, Hochul's office had it taken down. A spokesperson for the governor defended the move, claiming it aimed to prevent anti-Semitic content in classrooms. The university management backed Hochul, calling the listings divisive and polarizing. Faculty members and human rights advocates are outraged. The faculty union condemned it as political interference and a violation of academic integrity. Professor Heba Ghawayed called it an unprecedented overstep. Renowned journalist Glenn Greenwald says it is a broader pattern of silencing Palestinian voices in U.S. academia. Advocacy groups warn this is part of an ongoing crackdown on Palestinian scholarship. Pro-Israel activists praised the removal, with some comparing the course to Nazi-era propaganda. This incident has fueled concerns about shrinking space for Palestinian perspectives in American universities. Hundreds of freed Palestinian prisoners have shared shocking accounts of mistreatment in Israeli jails. Many suffered severe beatings, starvation, and medical neglect. Some were too weak to walk upon release. Khalil Abu Aram, freed after 19 years, described his final hours in captivity as terrifying. He was held for hours, threatened, and banned from speaking to the media. Others spoke of relentless torture, isolation, and degrading conditions. Medical teams reported prisoners showing signs of malnutrition, skin diseases, and respiratory issues. One was in a coma upon release. Israel freed more than 600 prisoners in the latest swap under the Gaza ceasefire deal with Hamas. Salah al-Hams, nursing director at Gaza European Hospital in Khan Yunis, said 456 Palestinian prisoners were transferred to Gaza. He noted that among the freed were 15 health staffers who were taken into custody from hospitals during Israel's genocidal war on Gaza. The exchange followed Hamas handing over the bodies of 4 Israeli prisoners. With the first phase of the truce ending soon, a second phase could see more prisoners freed if Israel fully withdraws from Gaza and ends its war. Hamas added that 97 prisoners serving life or long-term sentences were deported to Egypt. Hamas has released 33 Israelis, including 8 bodies, under the first 42 phase of the ceasefire that ends this weekend. Israeli figures estimate 59 Israelis are held in Gaza, with at least 20 of them still alive. Health officials fear it may be triggering rare but deadly brain complications in children. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, reports 19,000 flu deaths so far, including 86 children. At least 9 of them had severe brain issues. The CDC is investigating whether there are more cases. Experts say this year's flu shot is working well and urge people to get their shots now. It has reduced hospitalizations by up to 78% in children and more than 50% in adults. Yet, vaccination rates remain low. Doctors warn of flu-related brain complications, including seizures and hallucinations. Most affected children were unvaccinated. Severe flu seasons often bring more neurological issues, but it's unclear if cases are rising. Meanwhile, next year's flu vaccine faces uncertainty, with a key government meeting to decide on flu strains being cancelled. Saudi Arabia has signed 13 agreements at the Mecca Halal Forum 2025 to boost trade, economic cooperation, and innovation in the halal industry. The Saudi Authority for Industrial Cities and Technology Zones inked 2 investment deals in the food sector during the 3-day event, which ended Thursday. The agreements aim to support business growth, drive economic expansion, and establish a scientific framework for the halal industry. Artificial intelligence will also be used to enhance innovation while ensuring adherence to Islamic values and global standards. Commerce Minister Majid Al-Qasabi highlighted the industry's rapid growth. The global halal market reached $7 trillion in 2024 and is projected to hit $10 trillion by 2030. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.